is on matters of relationships. And there seems to be a lot of confusion as to what they want, what they need, and what the church says. And I want to start by defining the word dating, which forms the basis of our today's topic, dating and why young people are opting to remain single. Now, when we talk about dating, this is a word that has been used so casually that at one point it loses the meaning. And when we look at the word dating, it has a deeper meaning than what people seem to be thinking it means. One, for you to date, it means that you are in a relationship. And I specifically want to talk about relationship with the opposite sex, because our church, the Catholic Church, is very, very clear on the kind of relationships we should have. In today's world, we have people who are getting married from the same sex. So for me, that is not dating because it's against our church principles. So I want to dwell so much on the relationships between the opposite sex. And when we talk about dating, it's a stage of romantic relationship in human beings. So wale wanaume ama wale wasichana wana engage na animals, that is not dating. We have bestiality, it is not dating. Dating simply talks about a romantic relationship between two consenting adults. And when we talk about adults, I want to define adults from the Kenyan Constitution, that is the age of 18. But at the same time, I want to go a little bit ahead because at the age of 18, una date uende wapi? Umemaliza high school, hujaenda college, hujijui, hujielewi. So how will you understand the other person? So we need to know that before we start dating, we need to know where we are coming from. Who am I? What am I looking for? Because if you don't know what you're looking for in the person that you want to have a relationship with, trust me, you're doomed to fail. And this is one of the reasons why young people don't want to get married, because from the word go, it started on a wrong footing. And the reason or the purpose of dating is to assess one another, whether you're compatible. And it's during dating where you find that people will learn that their partners have they're short-tempered, they're hot-tempered, they don't like this, they don't like that, and the kind of things that they want to do. So dating is a period of assessment. Like vile mnakuanga college, mnaassesiwa after a lecturer teaches a topic. There are those continuous assessment tests, isn't it? So dating in a relationship is that assessment. And it is very, very important. If you don't go through this stage, trust me, whatever relationship you get yourself into, you're doomed to fail. Because utapata na mtu humjui, you don't get enough time, or you don't even take time to learn them. I want to pose a question. All of you, I believe most of you are in colleges and you're doing specific courses. Nobody chose that course for you. You chose it, and I'm sorry if your parents told you to do it, then you're doing the wrong thing, because I believe we are supposed to do what makes us happy. So when you are choosing that course, whatever course you're in, what were some of the things that you looked at? I always tell people, when I finished my A levels, mimi ni analog, mimi nimetoka hiyo generation nyingine. I wanted to be a lawyer. And the reason I wanted to be a lawyer, because I believed I can speak. Then I missed one point and I was taken in for teaching. Trust me, if I were to go back to school today, I'll still take a course related to teaching because it gives me the satisfaction that I need. It's not so much about the money. And when I look at my background in teaching, it has also given me what I'm doing today with the young people, talking, listening. So it's the same thing in dating. Look at the person you want to date as your career choice because you're stuck with that career for the rest of your life. If you're dating for the purpose of marriage, which I believe is the main reason why we want partners from the opposite sex, remember, if your relationship heads to marriage, you are stuck with this person forever. So there's no room to change. So you need to know this person very, very well. So dating is not a period where you meet someone today, after 1 week unasema niko na boyfriend ama niko na girlfriend. That doesn't make sense to me because you've not gone through the stages of dating. And I want to put you through the 5 stages of dating so that when we are looking at our relationships and why our relationships are failing, then you tend to realize that probably we are at the first stage, and that is the reason why we are unable to get to where we want to get. The first stage of dating is attraction. Umepata na ako kadem kanisani, unakacheki and all that young man and you say, wow, this girl is beautiful. And for no reason, you get attracted. You cannot simply say that you want this person from that. From that attraction, because attraction is relative. You might be attracted to a person, but when you start learning who this person is, then you realize that you have made a mistake. And one of the things, especially with the young people in this group, especially the men have an attraction to beauty. Your figure 8. For girls, they'll look at something deeper. And that is the reason why, after some time, you find there are couples who you listen to and they tell you, this is not the person I met, because beauty fades. Trust me, when I was 18 years old, I looked much better than today. So if you're getting married, if you're getting married to that person because of their beauty, remember at one time, that girl that you're getting married to will look like her mother. So the first stage is attraction, and attraction is basically infatuation. There's nothing you know about this person. Probably it's the way they're dressed, probably it's the way they walk, probably it's the way they look, probably it's the way they talk, probably it's the way a lot of the outside is what attracts us. Okay. The second stage is reality. When you get attracted to this person and you start pursuing this person, then reality dawns that I'm interested in this person. So you start going deeper, deeper than what you had seen the first time. You start communicating, and through communication, we are able to tell what kind of a person this person is. If a person starts on a note that, because people get attracted for different reasons. There are people who get attracted to you because they simply want to sleep with you. They simply want to be seen with the most beautiful girl or the most handsome man in town. So what do? They'll take you out. But the reality is, the reality will dawn on you when this person starts revealing themselves. So you cannot simply say that you know this person, mulikutana church last Sunday, then after 2 weeks unasema uko na boyfriend ama uko na girlfriend. That is bullshit. Let me use that word. And sorry, I have to use that strong word because 2 weeks are not enough for you to know a person. So the reality starts dawning, do I really want this person? And you'll be surprised. They might do something and you realize that whatever had attracted you to this person is basically not even there. The third stage is commitment. You've been attracted. Reality has dawned on you that actually this is the person that I want. And by this time, you find that your relationship has taken a longer time. It is not umekutana in the course of 1 week, the second week. No. And commitment is commitment to friendship. Remember, when you're dating your friend. So when you commit, you're committing to be friends, not to be husband and wife. So by this time, you've not even known the person. But with time, you realize that they'll start telling you, I don't like this. I don't like this. This is what I like. Unfortunately, with most people, you find that we are stuck with the first one. We don't explore the other two, the other four. And because of this, that is the reason why you find young people not wanting to get married, because they've not even gone through the stage of commitment. Once you're committed to this person, what happens? You start shedding off your friends, and you start spending more time, or you start chatting with more time with this person, because you want to discover them more. At the same time, you're also discovering yourself. What do I really want? And a time comes when both of you ask yourselves, what do we want in this relationship? So until you've asked yourself that question, then there is no dating that you're doing. You're just playing hide and seek with your friends. The fourth one is intimacy. And I want to be very clear. And this is where most of the young people go wrong. When we talk about intimacy, we are not talking about sex. It's not about sex. It's about emotional connection. It's about your physique. It's about how do you want to treat this person? How do you want this person to treat you? And this is where many young people lose it. Intimacy to many young people simply means sex. So what happens when you have had sex and you realize that it is not even what you wanted? And my dear young people, please do not do something to please the other person. If you're uncomfortable with it, please don't do it. I always tell people I would rather a broken engagement than a broken marriage. And sex has become so casual. People talk about it like it's a cup of tea. But ask yourself, if it is a cup of tea, I've never heard someone bragging about jana nililala na fulani. So it means that it's supposed to be something that is secret. And the reason why it is secret is also because it is sacred. It's only supposed to happen in marriage. I know. And I don't blame people. I don't blame teenagers or young people when they come and say, I've had sex, because they're talking from, they did it from a point of not knowing. And what I always tell people, there is what we call secondary virginity. You can stop that practice and start abstinence again. And believe you me, we have a forgiving God. He's a merciful God. He will forgive you. The Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And this is the reason why we have so many young people, young teenage mothers, because for them, love to them was sex. And the minute they had sex with this person, the person took off. If this person was really committed to you, then they should take responsibility. Responsibility does not necessarily mean um, financial assistance, because if you're in college and you're relying on your parents, then where do you get money from? But the point is, you can be there for this person. So when we talk about intimacy, I'm simply talking about emotional connection. And when you're emotionally connected with a person, whether they're in problems, whether they have failed you, you still reconnect to them. Finally, then you get to engagement. Engagement is what in the Bible is called betrothal. We have we have the case scenario of Mary and Joseph. When the angel Gabriel appeared to Mary, she was betrothed to Joseph. In other words, everything had been arranged, everything had been done for her to be Joseph's wife. Okay? So when we talk about engagement, it means you've passed through the 4 stages and you've realized that this person has his weaknesses, this this girl has her weaknesses, but I am willing to forego the weaknesses and stand by her in her strength and stand by him in his strength. Okay. So until you've gone through those 5 stages, and I want each one of you to re-examine yourselves. If you're dating, where are you? If you have not gone through the 5 stages, then I think you need to reassess your dating and your friendship once again. Now, I want us to look at the types of dating. The most common is online. And this is the most dangerous. Dangerous because when I have an online friend, we only meet on phone or on WhatsApp and all that. I do not spend time with this person. And I want to emphasize, if you're committed to someone, spend as much time as possible. But I always tell people, if you do not trust yourself, then spend time with this person in an open field, because we are emotional beings. And allow me to say this, because I've also done reproductive health. Our body mechanisms, especially for the men and the women, are very different. And when we look at a man, when a man gets sexually attracted to a woman, their body heats up very, very easily. It's like an aluminium pot, sufuria ya mabati. Ukiwekelea kwa jiko, within 2 minutes imeshika moto. And this fire, when you put it off, when you put it from the fire, it also cools down very fast. For women, we are different. We are like the clay pots. Before my emotions build up for me to want to be intimate sexually with this person, it takes time. And that is the reason why you find that many young girls are getting rapes, because you are not even prepared for that. So we need to be very, very careful where we are meeting with our friends. One of the dangers of online dating is that you might end up dating a thug. A friend of mine once was conned 17,600 by a prisoner. There was a time the nation would have, I think, were they pen pals or something, friends, a small cutting where men and women would say they are looking for life partners, and they would give numbers, and this lady called. And because of the things that this person was telling her, she knew, and I think she was a little bit desperate. She was in her 30s, and she's like, she came and told us, hey, mimi nimepata bwana. And we are asking her, where is this husband? Ati usijali, atakuja, sijui yako Malaysia, sijui yako wapi. By the time she realized, she had lost money. I encourage young people, date someone you can see. Because even when in marriage, you're not going to give that ring to a person who is the other side of the world. So date someone that you can see. The other one are the double dates. Double dates is when we decide, or girls decide, tunaenda pahali and we are meeting our friends. Today, my mom was telling us how dating was, their days. And what they will do is that, and I wish it would happen today, the priest who knew the congregation of the girls, like she was telling us, the priest knew my grandfather. So the girls would go and tell the priest, I want to meet this particular young man. So the priest would go to the young man and would ask whether they wanted to meet these people. And then they would have what you call double dates. So the girls, like 7 girls would come, 7 young men would come, and they'd be there. But the priest would be monitoring them. So nothing went wrong. And maybe that is the reason why, when you look at the ages between 60 and above, many of them are married, because there was a lot of monitoring and there was a lot of education on this. Then we have group dates, where you decide a group of kids from St. Jude will meet the youth from Divine Mercy. So when these two groups meet, you'll find that they form friendships. So they'll go somewhere, but they know exactly what they are doing. They are not simply going for picnics, but they are going there because they have friends from the opposite sex. Then we have blind dates. The blind dates are the worst, just like online, because you don't even know the person that you're meeting. It's a relation. It's a situation where I introduce you to someone and you agree to meet somewhere and you've never met this person. The danger with blind dates is that many young girls end up being killed or being raped or being assaulted because you don't even know this person. So my dear young people, if you have to date, make sure that it is someone that you know. And if possible, introduce your friends to your parents. I always tell people there is something that your parents will see and you're not able to see. If Nathan today brought me someone and we start talking, there is something that I'll pick as a parent and Nathan I might not be able to pick. So be open enough to introduce your friends to your parents, because if you introduce your friends, for example, and your friends tell you, let's go to your bedroom, definitely, if there is a parent, then you know that that person is not the right person. Um, then we have those serious dates, and serious dates is exclusive. Exclusive in the sense that you already know that this is the person I want to spend time with. So you'll even leave Nairobi, you leave town and go to places where only the two of you can reassess yourselves. Okay. And it is very, very important that we understand that just like stages of development, dating also has stages. Brother Steve, I don't know whether there are any questions before I move on to reasons why there are so many single young people.
Just go
Val,
ahead. Just
go
go ahead.
ahead.
We'll assemble them, then we'll answer at the end.
Okay. Now, why is it that in this millennium we have so many young people who are single? One, I'll start with what Brother Steve, I mean Deacon Steve has done. Some are single because they want to be celibate. They have chosen the vocation to serve God. And when you make this choice, then you find that you leave everything, and you either you join a congregation that trains you either as a brother or as and finally as a priest. This means that you'll never date. The only person you can date is Christ, because meshikanishwa na yeye through the sacrament of holy orders. The other reason is broken families, broken marriages. What do we see today? There are so many divorced couples. We are living with so many single parents because the kids, because the parents have separated. And I want to say, especially with this, don't allow a broken relationship or a broken marriage to determine the life that you're going to lead. Don't simply say because your parents are divorced, you don't want to get married. I'll give you a classic example. There's a friend of mine. She got married at the age of 18. By the time she was 23, 25, they had separated with the husband. And she has one girl and two boys. And when it came to her daughter getting married, the kids kept on saying, Mom, we are not getting married. The way dad mistreated you, the way dad mistreated us, I don't want to be mistreated by someone. And this is what my friend told the daughter: do not use my broken marriage to steal your happiness. She got married, and unfortunately, it's like the sin of her father followed in her husband. The father was adulterous, so that she also by the time the marriage was 3 years old, the man became promiscuous and he started bringing women to the house, and she opted to walk out. This was the first wedding I attended in the Archdiocese of Nairobi, where the officiating priest was the cardinal. She left the marriage, and of course, because of that, that's the only reason where divorce will be granted by the church. But she has gotten married again, and she's very, very happy. So let's not look at the mistakes that our parents have made to steal our joy. If anything, let them be stepping stones for you. Learn the mistakes, get to know the mistakes if your parents are free enough with you. And don't listen to this parent who tells you that your dad is a devil. No, because there's no human being who is a devil. Mistakes happen, people have their weaknesses, but learn from those mistakes from your parents and build yourself a beautiful relationship. The other reason is some people just want to progress in their careers. So they realize that if they get married or they get into a relationship, this relationship is going to take too much of their time because there's a human being involved. So you cannot manage the two. So they opt for what they want. There are people who believe that until they have that title, Professor so and so, they are not human beings. So they will not have time for relationships. The other one is failed relationships. You've dated, you've been left, you've dated again, you've been left. So you start looking at yourself as that cast girl or that cast man. There's no person who has been cast. And this is what I'm going to tell you. In every relationship, there are always pros and cons. If there are problems, don't carry the problems of your first relationship to your second one. And girls, we are very good at this. So what do? If you get a man, even if the man is good, we start comparing him with our ex. When you bring in your ex in your new relationship, you're doomed to fail. There are no two people who are the same. Even the identical twins are not the same. So do not bring your ex into your current relationship. Then we have the misunderstood concept of marriage. Um, when marriage was ordained by God, it was basically for companionship, and then there's the issue of procreation. Most young people today do not want to have the responsibilities of being fathers because you think that it is very, very expensive. And then they imagine that in every marriage there must be children. So when they imagine that they do not have the finances to bring up children, then what do? They opt, let me be myself, and so that I'm able to take care of myself. I always tell people, when God gives you children in marriage or in whatever circumstances, every child comes with their plate. Okay, so do not judge a marriage because of what others are saying about it. There are very beautiful marriages in this world. There are people who have made it. Let those people look up upon those people. The biggest problem with human beings is that we're always looking for mistakes. If you go to St. Jude today, there are people who will be telling you, hata jana tulikuwa kwa father, alikuja amechelewa. But there are also people who will be telling you, my marriage has worked. I have the perfect wife. Not I have near the perfect wife, I have near this perfect husband. So these are the people you should be looking at. And then the role models. What do we see? What do we see? What do the young people see? When we go to bars, when we go to social places, whom do we see misbehaving most? Believe you me, and allow me to say this, women. The married women are not our role models. The married men are not our role models. So we have formed into our minds that I don't want to be what I have seen. Remember, you're an individual, and you have the freedom to make the choices that you want to make. I tell people you have the freedom to be what you want to be. You have the freedom to bring up children in the best way that you can. You don't have to be super rich. No, you only need to be contented with what God has given you. Uh, Young people want to be independent, and this is where we are all going wrong. You don't want to be held accountable. You want, for the young men, and I'm hoping that you don't take that road. You want to be in the bar until morning. You don't, and when you get out of the bar, you want to go home and sleep the whole day. This love for independence can also be detrimental to your life, because by the time you realize that your freedom or your independence is not giving you what you want, it might be too late. Because all that girl whom you might have wanted to marry might be married by your best friend. So even if we want independence, let's also realize that that independence comes with its pros and cons. And let me tell you, I'm a single person by default, not by choice, but that independence that we all yearn to have, and especially with young people, it can also be very, very lonely. So ask yourself, in the next 50 years, if you're 20, you'll be 70. Your friends will not be visiting you. Whom are you going to share your life with? In First Corinthians chapter 7, if you read the entire chapter, Paul talks about marriage, Paul talks about singleness. And he says, it is good to be married. And he advises people, young people, if you cannot manage your desires, and I'm not simply talking about sexual desires, no, there are a lot of desires. If you cannot manage your desires of being independent, of not having children, then get married. But if you can, Paul also says that it is good, because when you're single, you have your whole time to listen or to do the work of Christ. But remember, not all of us are called. Personally, I didn't realize that God wanted me to work with the young people until I was much, much older. And maybe that's the reason why, for me, my singleness gives me a lot of what I want. I'm in Nyeri because on Saturday I have a seminar with CME. Probably if I was married, maybe I would be having a marriage commitment. But it doesn't mean that uh, I'm not advocating for marriage. No, I'm simply saying that weigh your options. What do you really want? If you can manage, go for it, because even the Bible says, but remember, don't be single so that you can be in the bar 24/7. If you have to be single, make sure that most of your time you're doing the work of Christ. And because when you're single, you give God your undivided attention. I'm not saying that when you're married you don't also serve God, because remember, marriage is also a vocation. And by serving your family, by serving your husband, by serving your children, whom you have been given by God, you're also serving God indirectly. But we need to strike a balance. So, my dear young people, if you have to date, go through the 5 steps. And remember, let no one steal your joy. Put Christ first. Pray about if you have not started dating, pray about it. And let God give you those friends that you so wish to have. Brother Steve, Deacon Steve, Deacon Steve, Val.
Yes.
I think I am through unless there are any questions.
Okay, thank you for that. I think we can go to the questions
Okay.
that people have asked. And let me begin by saying sorry we forgot to begin with a word of prayer, but we shall
Oh
maybe
my goodness.
at the end of the meeting.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll do so at the end of the meeting. And
Okay.
thank you so much, ma'am, for the insightful presentation. I'm sure we've all learned more about the stages, the types, the misconceptions of dating, and that dating is not just for fun, but rather to assess
Yeah.
each other. And now I would like to welcome all the questions. In case you
Okay.
have any question, feel free to raise your hand or type in the comment section. So far, there are those who had asked some questions. Let me read them. From Albert, people should date at least for how long before they get into marriage? Mom, I think, I don't know. Have we lost you?
Seemingly, she's not there.
Uh-huh. Okay. You can type the questions as we wait for her to come back.
Okay, I have a suggestion.
Uh-huh.
We have had the discussion, and
Yes.
as we still think of the questions, can we do a breakout session
Uh-huh.
of about 5 minutes? Just divide people into groups
Yes.
automatically.
Uh-huh.
We'll find ourselves into groups, and those groups we can have a discussion of what we have learned today, its impact. Then we come back to the group, and then I think by then ma'am will be back
Yes.
so that we can finish the questions up. Is it okay?
Yes, it is okay.
Okay, so I'll divide people into groups, and the group which you are into, a sign will come on the screen, and then you'll be able to click enter, and you'll find others in the group. It's automatic. I've not chosen anybody to be in a group.
Okay, thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes, we can.
Okay. Um,
Now we are back, and now I
you're
think
back.
Val will ask you the questions that were to what
So
had been.
Deacon Steve, there's someone who had asked a question on achievements. In education, you are more educated, you fear, and all that, especially
Yes,
for the men. Hello?
yes, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, this is my take. Okay. When you start dating, what are you looking for? Because if this person is after you, the person, then their education, their achievement does not matter. But if they're after what you have achieved, then it makes a very, very big difference. I know a guy who is married to a medical doctor, and he's just a Form 4 dropout. Because when they get to the house, you are my wife, you are not doctor. Okay. And this is where young people are also are going wrong, because we are looking at the outward, our achievements outward than what we have from inside. Okay. So this is my take for the guy, for the young man, for the boy child. Stop getting intimidated, because you're not marrying the degree, you're not marrying the car, you're not marrying the house. And let me also tell you this, for those women who have achieved all this, they are getting a problem. I mean, they're in a worse problem, because they cannot get men who match their achievements. And that is the reason why I'm saying, if you're dating, date when you're younger, grow with this person. Don't go for that person who has already achieved. Trust me, that's already a failed relationship. If you are 18, if you are 25, and you're dating someone who is 20, where have they achieved? Where have they gotten their money from? Hello?
yes, we can hear you.
I hope I've answered the young man's question.
I believe you have. In case
Yeah,
he still has a question, he will ask.
yeah,
Okay, we'll go to the next one. There's this
yeah,
question we had asked by Albert, from
yes,
Albert.
yeah.
People should, how long should they date before they get married?
How long should people date before they get married? I don't think there is any time factor. There is no time limit. But my take is, make sure you know this person 90%. Okay. Some people date
Yes.
for 10 years, others date for 2 years, and they're still happy. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So take your time to learn this person. If it takes you an year, well and good. If it takes you 10 years, it's still good enough. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Val.
Uh, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. In case your question is not fully answered, or you would like to ask another question on top of that question, feel free to type it, or you can raise your hand. I'll go to the next one. This was sent by, okay, the person wants to be
Huh?
anonymous.
The person?
When is use your part?
I don't seem to get the question well.
Sorry, when is the right time to
Uh,
introduce your partner to your parents?
The one, I want us to be very clear on this. You need to introduce your friend to your parents when you're comfortable with this person as a friend, and let them know that this person is just a friend. Okay. So you don't introduce your friend to your parents as anything else unless you feel there is that commitment, because it's going to be so disappointing if after introducing your friend to your parents as my fiance or my fiancé, and then after 2, 3, 6 months, you go introducing somebody else, until you're very, very comfortable and until you're very, very sure that this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, introduce them as your friends. Okay? When you are very comfortable, this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, then introduce them as your fiance. That's my take. Okay? But also be selective. Don't introduce every Tom, Dick, and Harry to your parents. Okay? Because they'll lose trust in you. Okay? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I hope I've answered that person's question.
I hope so. If he or she has any comment.
Val?
There's a question here.
Yes.
You have just been answering about introducing girlfriend and boyfriend to your parents, and the person says some parents are too strict. What can you do about that?
Why? The first question is, why are your parents strict? Because now this is not an issue of you. It is an issue of them, isn't it? So you need to find out, where are they strict? What are their experiences? Maybe your mom or your dad got married when they were very, very young. So they are afraid of you getting married at their age. Okay. Number two, there is also the issue of trust. What do they trust you enough? Because if they trust you enough, they do not have a problem. The other problem parents have is what they see, the outside world. And they think that you, as the son or the daughter, is doing the same thing. So if your parents are too strict, try and have a talk with them. Find out why they don't want you to bring your friends at home. Okay? If they still don't budge, go to your godmother or your godfather, a person who your parents are going to listen to, and let them understand that you have that age where you need to introduce your friends to them. And for me, any young person who decides to introduce her friend or his friend to the parents, to me, this is a sign of respect for those parents. You'd have opted to go out anywhere, meet your friends in hotels, do whatever you want to do, but you want your parents to know the person you are with. So let them know that you're not doing it because you disrespect them. It is out of respect. Okay? Deacon?
Thank you, ma'am. Another question.
Yes.
What if you're dating now as we are young and the guy or the girl cheats on you, but then they come back and ask for forgiveness? Then the person starts getting serious about marriage, but the one who was cheated on has trust issues. How does one deal with that?
One, we need to be very, very clear on, and I've made a statement, I would rather a broken engagement than a broken marriage. Who tells you that this person who cheats on you when you're dating will not cheat on you when you get married? That's the first thing that you need to, and this is the reason why I've said, go through the 5 stages of dating. Because if you go through the 5 stages of dating, chances are by the time this person starts cheating on you, you already have picked that character, that this person is not faithful. They'll be faithful in either supposed to meet at that particular time, they come late, they give excuses. And when people start giving excuses in a relationship, it's time to take off. Okay? So don't be bound by, it's good when they ask for forgiveness, but is that forgiveness genuine? No. You need to find out, are they doing it because they don't want to lose you, or they feel you're too good and they don't want someone else to beat you? because I know this is one of the biggest problems that young people have. I have dated someone. I know this guy is too good, so I don't want him to have someone else. So I'll ask for forgiveness just to get him, but I'll still go back to my old self. So ask yourself, is that forgiveness, Jen? And even if they come to you and tell you, I'm sorry, give yourself time. Because if they are genuinely sorry, trust me, you'll get to know. If you don't commit immediately, they are likely to go back to their old selves. Okay? But if you're not faithful in small things, you cannot be faithful in big things. That's even the Bible says that, isn't it? Okay, and that's why some people in the parable of the ten of the is it the denaries, where someone is given 10, another is given 5, another one is given 20. I mean, if you cannot be faithful in small things, and this is what you need to watch out as young people. If you're dating someone, you agree on a meeting or on doing something, there are always these excuses, time and again. This person, even if they come to apologize to you, trust me, they have no time for you. They are not interested in you. They're only afraid to tell you that they are not interested. Okay?
Yes.
Deacon?
Yes,
Val?
thank you. Next question.
Okay.
I have heard some men say that they can't marry a woman who has not gone to school. Some say that it is a matter of preference. Is it a matter of preference or looking at the outward appearance?
Men are physical beings. Okay? And when someone tells you they have not gone to school, which school are we talking about? Because you can have someone who has gone to school and she or he is not wife material. You can have someone who has not gone to school and she's a wife material. So which school are we talking about? Are we talking about the academics? Are we talking about the papers? Or are we talking about socialization? Because for me, in marriage, we need more of socialization. Informal, where your parents, you train you to be a wife. There are girls who cannot even make you a cup of tea and they have 3 or 4 degrees. Is that the education that this person is talking about? That degree will not make you a cup of as a husband. That degree will not iron your shirt as a husband. And that is where the biggest problem is. So what education is this person talking about? Is it the papers, or is it being groomed to be a wife? Okay, Deacon?
Yes, next question. What if your taste and your parents' expectations don't match and you fear your choice? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
What if your taste and your parents' expectation don't match and you fear your
Are,
choice won't be good enough for them?
are
What
you
do you
marrying for your parent? That's what I want to ask this person. Did they marry for their grandparents? And I want to emphasize on one thing. You're not marrying for your mother, you're not marrying for your father. This woman is getting married to you. You're getting married to this woman. And what you have seen in this woman is what matters. Is what matters. And trust me, if you go by what your parents will tell you, then you'll never get married. You're going to get divorced as many times as, I don't know, because there is no woman who is good enough for the mothers-in-law. No. I know a classic example where a girl got an accident and she had a boyfriend. So her legs got amputated, and the man still insisted, this is the woman I want to marry.
I don't think we can hear you. I think there's a problem with the audio. I don't know how to answer this question, so you'll just wait for her to come back and answer the questions. I'm not an expert.
It's okay, let's wait for her.
Okay. Lakini, as we wait for her, did you get the answer? Whom are you marrying for? For your parents or for yourself?
And I can see someone commented that okay, we've been told that they give the best opinions about who is best for us. So they might count in whatever choice we have.
Okay. For this reason, let us just wait. For me, I don't know what I can tell you. If anybody thinks that they can answer the questions, they can raise their hands and we will unmute them.
Lilia.
Unmute her.
I've done so.
You can't see her again. She raised the hand and went down.
Who else? Diana. Oh, I think Mom is back now.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome back. We had lost you.
I lost you.
We also
Hata
lost.
mimi nimewapoteza.
Karibu sana.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Diana.
The question I
Val.
think the question you're asking about whom are we marrying for, parents or grandparents? That was the question.
Yeah, you're marrying for yourself. You're not marrying for your parents. Hello?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
I'm saying.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, just go ahead.
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm saying that you're not marrying for your parents. You're marrying for yourself. Okay? Your parents can only guide you. Okay?
Okay.
But let them not make the choice for you. Because their parents never made a choice for them either. Yes.
Okay, next question. How do we deal with insecure partners? By insecure, I mean people who have the perception that men always cheat.
This is more of an individual thing. Where have they even gotten this concept from that men always cheat? Because you see, these are the misconceptions I'm talking about. Just like we have some misconceptions that today's marriages are failing. Okay? Is it true? No. So do all men cheat? No. And the only way to find out is to date one. Okay? But the danger is if you go into a relationship with that mentality that all men cheat, trust me, that man will cheat you. So the first thing you need to do is change your perception and know that there are good men out there. And pray about it, that God sends to you that good man. There are people who are so afraid of traveling because every time they get into a vehicle, they think about accidents. The only way to get out of that is by having some trust in the driver. Okay? So it is not even about the men, it is about you changing the perception that when God created men and women, when God created the world, everything that God created was good, isn't it? So start your relationship from that perspective, that everything that God created was good, isn't it? Okay?
True. Yes.
Until you change your perception, even if you get a good man, you still find some reason that he has cheated, even when he has not. Okay?
Yes.
Uh,
The next
Deacon.
question.
Okay.
What are the key things you need to look at in a relationship to know that you're probably in the right relationship?
Mm-hmm. Now, when we talk about the right relationship, what are you looking for? That is the first thing that you need to ask yourself. And I'll give you a comparison to this question. If you go out shopping, you are shopping for a dress. Okay?
Yes.
There are specific things that you're looking for in a dress, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's the same thing about a relationship. What are you looking for? Remember, when you start, before you start dating, when you're looking for, when you're trying to get to your right partner, it's like you're in a supermarket, and there are all these brands of toothpaste. Okay, but only you who knows what you need, isn't it? I
Yes.
cannot tell you what you go for, but some of the things that you really need to look out for, do not go for the outside of beauty, because one, it fades. Go for honesty, go for transparency, go for someone you can be fun with. I mean, fun, you can have fun with. Someone who can correct you without judging you. Because one of the reasons why relationships are failing is because we are too judgmental. Deacon Steve annoys me today, and then I brand him. Huyo Deacon ni mbaya sana. And don't even ask myself why he did what he did. If we go deeper in asking ourselves why people behave in certain ways, then we realize that we have no reason to fear. Okay? Honesty. When there are people who say, I want a man who has money, and my question is, unataka atoe hiyo pesa wapi? Si kuja na pesa yako, then both of you can make a life. So people are different. There are people who want partners who are God-fearing, but also remember there is a trick in this. If I want someone from church, I can also pretend that I'm a church going person, and once I get the person I want, then what do? I slide back to my old ways. Okay, so this is an individual choice. Look at yourself, find out, what do I really want in a relationship? If you're 10 people, trust me, we'll get 10 different answers. Okay, but you remember, we have to remember that we are Catholics. So we also have to look at, what does the church teach us? What is it that the church wants? What kind of marriages does the Catholic Church advocate? Remember, there is no chance for divorce. So you need to learn your partner very, very well, so that you reduce your chance of being divorced or getting a divorce. Okay? So the same way we go to a shop and we're looking for certain things, whoever has asked, we can be three of us going to a shop to buy a dress, but we're not going to pick the same dress. Okay? Because each one of us has their own ideas of what you want. So pray about, if you're looking for a marriage partner, pray about it. And also start asking yourself, whom do I want? No one is going to make that choice but you only. I hope I've answered your question. Hello? Hello?
Hello, yes, you have.
Okay.
I think he wasn't here from the beginning. So he's
Okay.
asking, mbona tuoe ata?
Huh?
He's
Bona?
asking, mbona tuoe ata?
It's a choice. That's why we are saying it's a choice. It's just like when you're going to college, when you're going to college and you're choosing courses, then you make your career choice depending on what you're interested in. I believe the person was not with us from the beginning, and maybe that's the reason why. He might be having his own reasons why get married in the first place, because um maybe from what he understands, all he sees are failed marriages. But he also has to remember that we can only learn from those failed marriages to make our marriages better. And I'll repeat again, do not allow a failed marriage to stop you from getting happy, 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 happy in marriage. Well,
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I believe that is answered, Ngewa. The next question: does money really matter in a relationship?
um, money is the source of all evils. And unfortunately, we cannot do without it. But my question is, where is the place of money in your relationship? There are some people who place um, having money like their top priority. There are others who look for other things in marriage. So, as I've said before, it depends with what you really want. I know couples who don't have a lot of money. I know, look at the slums. There are couples in the slums who are very, very happy, isn't it? Because for them, companionship, being there for each other is what matters to them. So, what is your priority? Is it money? Is it happiness? Is it love? Because when money comes in, love and honesty and fidelity flies out of the window, if that is what is making you get into a marriage. Okay.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. I believe that is well answered. The next one: what if you are
Mm-hmm.
dating and you two are from different religions, and he or she wants you to change? For example, if you're a Catholic, they are
Mm.
they
Mm-hmm.
yeah, something of that sort. It is a very long question. The
Okay.
difference in religions, and maybe
Mhm.
you're supposed to change according to the husband's religion. How do you go about that?
And in the Constitution of Kenya, we have the freedom of worship, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying in the Constitution of Kenya, we have the freedom of worship, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the church allows mixed marriages. Okay. But my question is, why should a person tell you to change unless you want to change? I know couples who where the husband is Catholic, the woman is from another denomination. So if this person is pressurizing you to change, then be assured that she's going to put a lot of pressure on other things once you get married. I believe I should change from Protestant to Catholic because I have seen the beauty of the Catholic Church, but not someone telling me, if you have to marry me, you have to change to my religion. That person is already dominating and is going to dominate you deeper and deeper in marriage to the extent that you might not have a say in that marriage. So let it be out of mutual understanding and let it come from the person who is from the other religion. I want to change because of A, B, C, and D, but don't let it not be force. When it becomes force, then you'll have a person who has become a Catholic, but a Catholic by name, because every Sunday atakuwa anakuacha kwa geti ya kanisa na yeye anarudi kwa nyumba analala.
Okay. Michubu was raising his hand. I don't know if he has a question related to this one.
Mhm.
Let me unmute him.
Yes,
Michuku,
I have a
you're
follow-up. Yes, thank you.
Mm,
So I have a follow-up question on the same.
okay.
Okay, you said like, okay, I think I agree with you, like you should not force maybe the other person to join your religion or vice versa.
Yeah.
But don't you think if you're raising a family, it will
Mhm.
be good, like if both of you went to the same church?
Yes.
Because I don't think, let's say in a scenario where you have a family where
Mhm.
like okay, you have maybe you have children, then they have to choose between Catholic and Protestant. And also I've seen relationships where like one is Muslim and the other one is Christian, and then the child is torn in between. But by the time the child is growing up, he has no identity because they didn't stick to one religion or one denomination. Don't you think there'll be a confusion?
What does it? What? Okay. I totally agree with you. But remember, I've talked about forcing someone. Okay.
Yeah.
When you
Bec-
force someone, what does that? Where does that leave this person?
Okay,
I've
I'm
talked
not
about
talking.
a scenario where.
Hmm.
Eh,
I am listening.
uh-huh. I'm saying
Hmm.
I'm looking at a scenario where I've been forced to change to maybe Anglican and I'm Catholic, isn't it?
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So do I get committed? Will I get committed to that faith?
Okay, if you're forced, you won't.
No, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what will that mean? That I'll also not bring my children in that faith, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then this is why I'm saying, remember we are dating, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if we follow the 5 stages, one of the things that you're going to discover is that this person comes from a different denomination from mine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So before
Yes.
you even commit, before you even get to the intimacy, before you even get to the engagement, these are things you'll have seriously discussed, isn't it? And both of you
Yeah.
have agreed. This problem is coming because when we are dating, we just concentrate on, I love you so much, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, but we are not discussing where we are coming from. I always tell, when I meet people, I tell them I'm a Roman Catholic. So from the word go, even if so when from the word go, you know where I belong. So even if you're going to bring a discussion on religion, you know exactly where I'm coming from. But what we normally do, usijali, you're Protestant, I'm Catholic, we still go ahead and get married. Then when you get married, that's when you realize there's an issue because they are children. Where will these children go? So I would advise people, as you go through the 5 stages uh, of dating, if you're coming from 2 different religions, please discuss it and get into an agreement before you get married. Okay?
Compromise. Yeah.
Because when you don't do that, it's going to affect how it's going to affect the way you're going to bring up children. So you must have an agreement. And remember, weddings are always done in the girls' church, isn't it? But once you get married, where are you supposed to follow? Huh? Remember, in most cases, you're supposed to follow where the man goes, isn't it? What if I'm not comfortable? If I discuss it before I get married, we are likely to get into an agreement. But when we don't discuss it until after we are married, trust me, you're going to have issues raising your children. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Yes, you're hearing you. I think that is well
Okay.
answered. Unless there is also a
Yes.
question in regards to that.
Mm-hmm.
Another question.
Val,
Yes.
there are 3 hands. There's Lilia
Oh, sorry.
and Jeremiah.
Okay, Lilia.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm saying I did not raise
Yes.
my hand.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Jeremiah.
So good
Manager.
evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
So my point was on the issue of denomination and religion, since
Yes.
it's been a debate all through. I mean, it's been a big
Mm,
deal when it comes to marriage.
mm,
Realize that
mm,
after marrying, the religion becomes
mm,
center of the marriage, and if you
mm.
happen to be in different denomination or religion, it becomes another big
Yes.
deal, and it will be a very big issue on how to deal with the two
Mm-hmm.
parties who are from different
Yes.
cultures and all that. I remember one
Yes.
time when we had a discussion, and
Mm-hmm.
one priest said, instead of fighting on where to marry from, it would be nice just to marry from your
Mm,
religion. Else you'll be
mm-hmm.
experiencing a lot of contradictions, and issues will rise up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I felt it, because you realize you marry from a different person, and the way he was brought up from the
Yeah.
religion wise is totally different from what you
Mm,
believe in, and it will be
mm.
an issue. So sister, maybe what I'll be asking from your hand, what do you think about that, from what you've learned from your experience, from people who marry
Uh-huh.
and they end up going maybe
Mm,
from different denominations? What's the experience
mm-hmm.
that you found? That's what I'll be
One of the
interested.
one of the greatest problems we have, I've said this. I don't know whether you listened to my earlier argument, is when we have 5 stages of dating, isn't it?
Yes.
Hello,
Yes, we can
can
hear
you
Yes.
hear
you.
me?
Yes.
We have 5 stages of dating, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
This is where we need to discuss. If you're coming from different denominations, we need to know, what does my partner feel about my being Catholic? And in case we get to that level, to that state where both of us are getting married, where do we raise our children? But what we normally do, the only thing we discuss is where we want to live, the kind of car we want to drive, the number of children we want to have, the kind of schools we want to take our children to. We leave the issue of religion, like it's a non-issue. And for me, this is the major issue that we have, because you're going to get married to in a church, not into a church, in a church. Okay. So if we agree that we are going to have our marriage in the Catholic Church, there must be reasons why we are doing that, isn't it? Why can't we discuss the same reasons where we are going to raise our children before we even get into this commitment? Because I think, I don't know, when people when people fall in love, they get so infatuated that what we normally do, or what I've heard most people do or say, is that hiyo tutadil nayo when that time comes. But also remember, I know couples where the man is Catholic, the woman is not, I know a couple where the man is Methodist, the wife is Catholic, and they both agreed, we are going to raise our children in the Catholic faith. They've been married for the last 42 years.
Okay.
Okay. So it is not, I would not think it would hinder you from getting happy if you discuss it from the word go. What this couple did, because I asked them, why is it that, Daktari, you go to the Methodist church, and your wife goes to a Catholic church? Said, my dad was, I think, a canon in the Methodist church, and he would not hear of me changing. And I felt, he said, the Catholic church has a lot of ceremonies. Sijui how it, he says, mnapiga magoti mara mingi kwa kanisa mpaka mtu anaka. That's what he told me. But they had agreed, once we get married, our kids are going to be raised in the Catholic faith. Okay? So I tend to think it's a question of agreement. But remember, you discuss it before you get there. Don't discuss it when you're already there. It's like a man who is drowning. When he sees the waves, that's the time he starts asking for, when the wave starts sweeping him, is when he starts asking for help. Ask for help before the waves get to you. That's my take. Then you'll be saved. I hope I've answered your question, Jeremy.
Yeah, very nicely. I didn't know that there's a
Hello.
couple who have agreed on that. So thanks, sister.
You must agree before you get married, just like you're going to agree before you get married the kind of wedding you're going to have, the kind of the number of men and ushers you're going to have, the venue and everything. Agree on how are we going to raise our children and in what faith. Then you're not going to have these issues after your marriage. Trust me.
Thanks, ma'am.
Okay. Deacon. Hello? Deacon
Yes.
Steve.
Yes. Vala, the question's
Hii
over.
naona tutaendelea next week. Eh?
The questions are not yet
Val.
over. They're almost. They're
What?
almost over.
Eh? How many more?
Like 4.
Okay, sawa, no problem.
Is it wrong to marry
Okay.
many wives?
What does the church say? Now, remember, things are changing. The Constitution of Kenya allows you up to 4. But what is the stand of the Catholic Church? We are Catholics. What is the stand of the church? Okay?
Yes. I bet
What is
some
the stand
us
of the Catholic
don't
Church?
know.
I'm throwing back the question to you. One man, Brother Steve.
Yes, one man, one wife.
One man, one wife. That is the church stand. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and cling to his wife, not wives. So that's the stand of the Catholic Church.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. The next question.
The next question. Do you think past relationship secrets should be kept hidden?
The biggest problem with there are 2 ways we can look at it. Okay? If you think it's going to hurt your relationship, then I would prefer we keep them hidden. But remember, what is not discovered early enough might bring problems for you later. Let me give you an example. You have a medical condition, you cannot sire children, and then you hide it from your wife. So 5, 10, 15 years down the line, you do not have children. Trust me, it's going to create problems. So it also depends where the problem. If you think it's going to create problems for you in future, I believe in starting with honesty. If this person really loves you, whatever problems that have, or whatever issues that you have, personal issues, you'll be surprised. I've just told you of a case where a girl, both legs got amputated. And the man went and told the parents, the person I'm bringing home has no legs. Okay? He did not say naleta mtu. Alisema naleta mtu ambaye hana miguu yake imekatwa. Okay? Can you imagine a situation where you lie, maybe you have had a child before, and then you meet this man who sweeps off of your feet, and then you lie to this man that you don't have a child. And then 5 years down the line, he comes to discover that the child you call your sister or your brother is your own child. It's going to mess your marriage, isn't it? Start with honesty. Honesty brings a lot of trust, and you'll be surprised. Maybe what you think you create or will bring a problem to you by disclosing that secret might be your stepping stone, because this person, you realize this girl, this boy has nothing to hide. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I know very many people who have gotten married on falsehood, and now they are divorced. And I was talking to one of the guys, and this is a friend. The guy told me, Mama Kihoro, let me tell you, I love this woman, but she lied to me. And for that reason, I had to get married to somebody else. And he says if he had told her the truth, because the girl cannot get children, but he went and colluded with doctors that the man is the one who has problems. So one day the doctor told the man, I mean, why don't we take you to somebody else? And then they discovered there were a lot of lies. And the man just left. And he says if the girl had told him about her problem, they would have opted for adoption, not divorce. Okay?
Yes.
Well,
Then I think the age factor was not clear to some. Can you kindly repeat about
I
the age?
said
Does it really matter?
there are people who will get married at the age of 20. The consent age in Kenya is 16, the law, without your parents' you can get married at the age of 16 with your parent consent, but once you're 18, once you hit 18, you don't need their consent. But my question is, are you mature enough to be a wife, to be a husband? Are you responsible enough? Do you have the resources to bring up your family? Those are some of the things. For me, it is good when you get married when you're younger, because you grow with your children. But also remember, you might get married when you're young, and instead of growing with your children, you have problems with your children because you cannot even meet their basic needs. So these would basically depend on an individual. I know people who have gotten married at the age of 20, 30, 25, even 40, because that is when they feel it's the right time for them. Okay. So before you make that decision, are you able to are you emotionally mature? Can you live with this person? Can you bring up your family? Do you have the resources? And are you mature enough to withstand some of the problems that are going to come with this institution of marriage? Because trust me, that life is not easy. It isn't. I'm not married, but I have a lot of people who are married, and at times they tell you, well, uko afadhali. And I always tell them, na nyinyi mko afadhali. So you see, there are a lot of problems that, not really problems, challenges, I'll call them challenges, that you come with marriage. So are you mature enough? There are people who will mature at the age of 21, others will mature at the age of 40. So for me, age is a non-issue.
Okay, thank you. I believe that is now well answered.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else with a question? So I think I'd like to thank all of you for the participation in the Q&A session. And moving forward, I'd like to ask someone to give us a vote of thanks. Actually, I'll choose two. Bernice, then Brother Steve. Then from there we can go on. Bernice and Brother Steve, welcome.
Bernice, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending to today's session. The turnout was good, and to the speaker, thank you so much. It was
Thank you, Bernice.
You're welcome. It was quite an informative session, and people have really enjoyed because the engagement was also good. So thank you so much. We hope to see you again here.
Anytime I'm invited, you know, you're my babies. I'll always be there.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. It was awesome.
Thank you.
This number of people have never been here for so long.
Ah,
The turn up is just, I don't know how to explain.
okay. It's
And
God's doing.
not only the turn up, but what we have learned is so much enormous, and we are delighted. Thank you for sparing your time to be with us. May God bless you and watch upon you. We will invite you
Amen.
again and again. And when
No
we get
problem.
other questions that we can't answer, we'll send them to you and you will help
You-
us to answer them.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's okay. No problem.
yes, I'll now request Father Evans. Just a minute. I'll request Father Evans to, no, sorry, before Father Evans blesses us, we have so many visitors today who are coming in for the first time. So after the blessing by Father Evans, he will pray and bless us. And after that, we will unmute everybody so that we can have a chance to introduce ourselves and just to say hi to other people. Sorry for muting you, because if we don't mute you, it will be chaos. So we mute
No,
you.
it's okay.
No, I'm telling the other members, we mute them so that
I'll
we
also
can,
have a chance to go and eat my ugali.
yeah, so that we can have peace. So after Father Evans will pray for us, and then he'll bless, and then after that we'll have a chance to say hi to each other. I'll unmute all of us. Thank you and welcome, Father Evans.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. There's no temptation, but deliver us from all evil. Amen. God, our loving Father, we thank you for the gift of this day and this evening. You have spent most of our time discussing, guided by your Holy Spirit, especially on matters of relationship. We ask you, Lord, that you may guide us in all the relationships that come, especially the relationships that we find ourselves in, that we may not fall into the wrong relationships, we may not fall into short-term relationships, but we ask that maybe in the relationship that are guided by your Spirit. We ask that you bless all the participants this evening and our Madam Presid, who was guiding us in the talk today. And we ask you, Lord, that your Spirit may inspire us always and in our day-to-day activities, guide us, and that we may be in the right relationships that are guided by you, relationships that come from you. And we ask you that you may bless us and bless our night, that we may sleep and tomorrow wake up in the morning to continue glorifying your name in all our activities. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. The Lord be with you. May Almighty God bless you, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Go in